Hey, how's it going, do-it-yourselfers? Today I'm going to show you how you can strip for money. Whoops, no, not that. Let me rephrase that. Today I'm going to show you how you can strip down and part out a car for money. So in my previous video on how you can get a sleeper car plus 500, I went over on how I got this 2000 Audi A6 with this front damage for $588. And then I mentioned how I got this other Audi A6 with the same exact body style, but without the twin turbo engine for $500 off Craigslist. So basically the plan is to use the body parts off of this on my little project car over here, and then try to part out the rest of the parts on this car that is economical and efficient enough. By that I mean it doesn't take up a lot of time, and use that money to pay off the money I paid for this, which was $588, and the money I paid for the parts car, which was $500. Now in my previous video, I threw out some different prices that I thought I could receive for the different parts that are on this car. For example, I mentioned that I could get about 40-50 bucks for these rear taillights, probably about $70 for this license plate bracket, another 60 bucks for this grill, and so on and so forth. But there was a lot of people that said that I could not get those prices, but I am here to tell you that yes, I can, and I will prove it to you probably towards the end of this video. But for now, we're going to start pulling off the damaged parts that are on this car to see what we exactly need. That way we can remove those exact parts off of our parts car and then post our parts car on Craigslist. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is to raise and support the car on jack stands. Alrighty, next I'm going to use my DeWalt impact wrench to remove the wheels. And as always, if you're interested in this or any other tools I use in the videos, links in the description down below. Also, as a good safety measure, whenever you remove your wheels, get in the habit of sticking it underneath your car. Alright, next, in order to remove our front bumper cover, this damaged fender, we need to remove our splash shield. Now on the bottom, this is usually connected to our fender cover by these two 10mm bolts. As you can see, one is broken off and missing, and this one is also damaged and detached from the front bumper cover, so we don't have to worry about these. But in order to remove all these other screws that are holding the splash shield in, we're going to use a T25 Torx socket. Some of these you can even take off with your hand. And I think this is the last one. And yep, pretty sure that was the last one. And this splash shield should come out. There we go. Now on these Audi A6s, if you're only removing the bumper cover, you don't actually need to remove the entire splash shield. We removed it on that side because we're also removing the fender. But on this side, we're only going to remove these two bolts and this one screw, and then just simply peel back the splash shield. Going to use my 1/4" impact wrench for these. Again, link in the description. Alright, next we'll come back to this side, and then if you were to look inside this fender, right there you can see there's these three screws or nuts that are attaching our front bumper cover to this bracket that's here. Now if I'm not mistaken, normally you can reach in there and get them, but since we have had an accident here, the top one we're gonna get from up top, and then the other two on the bottom we'll get from the inside the fender. There's this one. Now I should be able to get the other two with this extension. There's one. There's the second one. I got them two nuts. Now same thing on this side. On this side, however, we should be able to get all three from underneath here. So we'll just peel back our splash shield. Next we'll come to the front of the bumper and we're going to remove these fog lamp covers. A little bit of wiggling and this should come off. But if you don't want to risk breaking these, you can always stick a screwdriver through here and pull this back and then remove it. Alright, next we'll come down underneath and we're going to remove that bolt right there. Looks like gonna have to do this manually. And then the same thing on this side. So here's a look at the two bolts we got out, and these attach our front bumper cover and bumper assembly to these bumper shocks you see here. Alright, next we'll get underneath our bumper, and then we're going to remove these couple of screws that are attaching our front bumper cover to our lower splash shield. There's one. Alright, now that that's detached, we should be able to just simply pull this out. Alright, so in order to be able to pull this out, I had to use a screwdriver to push these studs out of our fender. But on this side, it should be easier like that. Now before we take off this bumper cover, it's a good idea to grab something and put it underneath it, because when you pull it out, there are going to be connectors that you need to disconnect, and it's a good idea to have it supported so it's not dangling off anything. And yep, this is the best I could come up with. All right. But these connectors are very easy to remove. That's probably true if you've done this before, but anyway, they're not the hardest things in the world to take off. So here we got these two on this side. You just press on these and pull them, and same two on this side. And last thing we need to disconnect is this hose that comes down here and goes to the washers that are right, come out here and spray and clean our headlights. So get our catch pan underneath, and there's a little clip here that you just press down, pull. That's it. Now this should be free and clear. There we go. Now we can tell exactly what's got damaged and what not. And luckily there seems to be very minimal damage. These shocks aren't even damaged as far as I can tell, but I'm still going to replace them. But you know, this bracket is fine. This whole front supporting assembly that supports everything is in good shape. Looks like simply our front bumper cover, and probably its supporting bracket on this side, plus the fender obviously, and its supporting bracket on this end is all that needs to be replaced. That's as of right now. We still have to take off that fender and take a closer look and be 100% sure. And that should be a problem. Taking off this fender doesn't seem to be a big job, but then again, I say that about everything. 3 bolts or screws up here, and then on the inside bracket there seems to be one T25 screw that's attaching our fender to our body. And then on this end, another one here, for which we might need to remove this side skirt to get to, and then probably a couple of more up top. First we'll remove this one. Then there's a cover here that we first need to remove. Again, more screws. And then once we get this reservoir out of the way, we can come down here and get this cover out of our way. And once you come inside here, you can see that bracket that's attaching our fender to our A-pillar. There's one. There's two. Yeah, I was worried about this. We are going to need to remove this bottom side skirt, because there's a bolt here at the bottom of this fender that we need to remove, and the only way to remove it is to take this out and then get to the screw or the bolt from this end. But removing this shouldn't be too hard. It's held in by a bunch of screws, simple as that. And then there's one screw that's kind of hidden away that you kind of have to get it through your door jamb. Right there. All right, there seems to be yet one last screw down here, Phillips head, that's holding this bracket for this side skirt, and that I think if we remove it, we can just peel back the side skirt instead of completely removing it, and get to the screws at the bottom of this fender. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we got it. There's 2 of them. Let me remove the other one first before starting to celebrate. All right, this trick should come handy for some people. When you open the door, you can again come down here, peel this back a little bit. Then again, you can get access to the second screw and remove that as well without completely removing this. All right, now one more screw. There's always one more screw. Now this should come off. Yeah, watch out for the wiring harness for your side marker. And that's it. All right, so here's a look at our driver's side. As you can see, there really is no other damage due to the accident. So we had our fender here, so that was obviously damaged. The bracket that attaches our fender to that was damaged. Front bumper cover was damaged. Its bracket that goes on the fender. Now I was worried that this was going to be damaged, but as you can see, this is only scraped up, but otherwise in good physical shape. So excellent. Now we know exactly what parts we need off of our parts car So now I can go ahead and list this on Craigslist and start selling all the other parts. All right, so there is that. But now as far as how I know exactly how much I can get for each part. That's actually pretty easy. Back a short while ago when I was kind of desperate for cash, as I've said before, and I was parting out cars for a living and at the same time stripping on the side, I was pretty much selling about 90% of the parts on each car on eBay. Now, the way you know how you can get how much for each part, you simply go to ebay.com, you put in your car's year, make, and model, and then you check the box for sold listings, and then on the right side you can sort by highest price plus shipping. And then you just simply start up from up top. You just want to make sure each part that you check is actually for your car, for your exact year, make, and model. And then you simply go down the list and pick out whatever you want to remove, or in other words, whatever part is worth your while according to how much money someone has been able to sell that for on eBay. And I've made a little list here for that 2000 Audi A6 with the 2.8 liter. So I'll just go down the line. So for the 4 lower door moldings, you can get 120 bucks. For transmission oil cooler lines, you can get 110 bucks. For the lower AC line, which goes from the dryer to the compressor, you can get 100 bucks. For the passenger side exhaust camshaft, 90 bucks. Someone needs that, I guess. The rear brake calipers, each 80 bucks. But anyway, I add it all up and it adds up to about $1,600. And then from there, you need to deduct 10% for eBay's fee and an average of roughly about 15 bucks per item for shipping. And then you're left over with approximately 1,000 bucks, but I am not counting the wheels and the tires on that car, nor the catalytic converters. Those two should sell easy, 100, 150 bucks each. We should bring another $200-300. So there, it is possible to have a sleeper for plus $500 if you're willing to put in the man hours and the elbow grease, and obviously if you have a place where you can store these cars for a while. Now I'm not going to immediately remove the bumper cover and the fender on our parts car and put it on our project car, because this one still needs to have its timing belt and water pump and all its camshaft oil seals and cam seals done and replaced. And in order to do that, this whole front supporting bracket needs to be pushed back or swung to the side to get access to those parts. So this is going to stay like this until I do that. Now I don't know if I'll make a video for that procedure, because I think there's other videos up on YouTube showing the procedure for the timing belt replacement for these engines, but if you guys want to see it, I'll make one. So leave a comment down below and let me know. So there's all there is to this video, but before you go, you may find it interesting that Ratchets and Wrenches, thanks to you guys, has become famous. I walked into Domino's the other day to get a pizza, and for the first time I was recognized by a viewer. Yep, there it is. That's Eduardo, which you can see him on the screen. And also I got $10 off my pizza. And to be honest, I kind of like the feeling of being famous, and I actually kind of want to be infamous, as in, have a lot of paparazzi following me, and then I get to grab and break their cameras and punch them, all that stuff, and get away with it too. So if you wish to see that happen, do me a favor and share this video on your favorite social network, and also consider checking out these other related videos, of which I put links to on this side of the screen. There will also be links down below in the description box as well. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.